Yuji versus Spider-Man isn't fair. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Do you know only 99% of you guys are not subscribed? And you guys should really click that button because at 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing a Amazon gift card giveaway. Anyways, who do you guys think is going to win? Is Yuji going to beat Spider-Man? Me personally, I think this is going to be more difficult of a matchup than we think of. As always, leave your predictions in the comments below and no cheating.
What happens when you take two protagonists who are absolutely miserable but are loved by everyone? You make them.
Ooh, great question, great question. Who has a worse life? Yuji Itadori or Peter Parker, aka my main man, Spider-Man? I feel like, personally, at least right now in the MCU, Peter Parker has it worse. I mean, dude, he lost all his loved ones. Everyone doesn't even remember who he is. He literally lives by himself. At least Yuji got he's always got someone to help him out. I mean, he got his brother. My brother just another me. He's got Toto popping up everywhere. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yuji really got a horrible life too, but in my opinion, I feel like Peter Parker's is worse.
Beat each other to death. Spider-Man Brand New Day has released, and with every Spider-Man movie, there is of course the discourse of, whoa, how strong is he? Can he still be killed by bullets? So today I wanted to go ahead and put him up against the closest thing to what a manga version of Peter Parker is, aka a miserable teenager in Yuji Itadori.
Whoa, I feel like people would say the closest manga version to him is Deku, just because of his black whips, and he basically flies around like Spider-Man. I love this image on the screen, by the way.
Not only do both protagonists have a drive that just makes you want to crank 50 push-ups at 3 a.m. from sheer aura alone, but we actually have seen both characters go through an evolution of some sorts, with Yuji awakening into a new realm of power after being blessed by the black sparks. And obviously in this new movie, Peter has gone through an evolution of his own, or specifically a mutation. But ultimately, who would come out in a battle between these two? Who's more amazing or spectacular even? Okay, I'm sick of quipping, let's just jump into the power scaling. Peter Parker throughout the movies has definitely shown varying levels of strength. I talked about MCU Peter twice on the channel already, but just to catch you up on where I believe he's at, generally speaking, he should be between the super soldiers and the top tiers like Hulk and Thor. Even as early as Civil War, he completely overpowered Bucky's arm and was surviving against Captain America just fine, and even somehow lifted a plane bridge like it was nothing. Keep in mind, in the current MCU, we have to have 3 individual super soldiers and 2 peak humans to go ahead and push back just this one rock.
Not gonna lie, that is actually so embarrassing. I've never watched the Thunderbolts because me personally, I couldn't get into it, but that's embarrassing. They're getting showed out 6-1 by Spider-Man? Jeez.
Peter not only halted this bridge casually, but even after Homecoming, he was able to break his limit and seemingly achieve what was impossible beforehand. This is consistent as Rogers was inferior to the weakest child of Thanos, yet Spidey could somehow not instantly die when this attack was being thrown at him by Cole Obsidian. I've broken down already why this Cole thing is an outlier, but long story short, in Brand New Day itself, Peter can't even halt an attack from a weaker Hulk, yet Cole is someone who is apparently on this level of a stronger Hulk, whether it's through statements or actual showings. He also did overwhelm Tony pretty badly in their first confrontation, and we know this is Tony's strongest suit yet, in contrast to Steve, who legit goes high diff with an Iron Man suit not even built for combat. That being said, the super soldier was capable of destroying a concrete pillar when fighting Ultron, which was calculated to be around small building level. He as well has survived the pumpkin bomb blowing up in his face, which is really impressive since these are the same bombs that can vaporize multiple humans at one time.
I don't know about this. I don't know if this is the same bomb, because I think that dude, have we ever seen the pumpkin bombs do anything remotely close to what they did in the first Spider-Man movie? I don't think so.
Which requires building to even city block levels of energy. But of course, with his Iron Spider suit, he seemingly is on par with the likes of Tony's Mark 50, which is funny since he ends up saving him twice against the same opponent, with the second time being in this suit. Now, this same Tony survived falling pieces of the moon being chucked at him, with one of these pieces crashing into Iron Man, having enough force to level islands to possibly even countries.
Oh, dude, little side note, I really want to play the Spider-Man game. I've been refraining my entire life from playing any Spider-Man game on the PlayStation because I had to have gotten an Xbox when I was a wee little lad. So I am so excited to play Spider-Man. And I promise you, I will get a PS5 soon and play that game.
Tom in the Iron Spider specifically has increased durability as well, which is what allows him to survive hits from Thanos, the same guy who can casually crush a Tesseract with similar levels of energy. For the record, I don't think Tom could ever hit this hard. This is mainly accounting for his durability, which Iron Spider is specifically enhancing to a significant degree. You could say the Iron Spider is maybe making Tom stronger by some vague amount, but we know it's very clear that the Iron Spider is a significant boost in defense. So we have to look closer at his fight with Norman, or the Green Goblin, who once again has explosions that range into multi-city block, and this version of Peter would clearly be stronger than the one that withstood this amount of energy.
Well, was this suit a little bit different than the one in Brand New Day? I feel like this one is a little more vibrant in color.
The integrated suit is considered to be the ultimate suit, however, it's still clearly weaker than the Iron Spider. It has less abilities, the plating on the logo is the only thing that has the nanotech armor, so it has less armor, and it just makes more sense to believe that Peter throughout the movie is just showing different levels of power, which is why people kind of come to that conclusion that the integrated version of the suit is stronger, but rather it's more so of the Tom on the bridge fight with Otto is weaker than the one in the condo fight. This would mean Tom, while not holding anything back, should be decently above Goblin now, and has grown stronger than ever by the time of Brand New Day. Going from being overwhelmed by the hand possessed by Jean Grey to no diffing them while not even going for the kill here. However, other than the fact that the weapons break off of him in contrast to before that were able to penetrate his body, I don't think the hand were actually that much above Tom, since he specifically wasn't even trying to fight them at first. They are above him, but I wouldn't say it's like a whole other tier of power, but we do know Tom himself exponentially grows, and he holds back anyway against this group, which is why his performance is still impressive regardless of how you look at it, but I just think the hand isn't as impressive as everyone else. If I were to give an exact tier, I would say that small town to possibly city level is definitely fair for Tom Holland by the end.
How about friendly neighborhood level? Sorry, that was a little corny.
Brand New Day, considering significantly weaker armors from Tony can withstand similar levels of energy when Thor smacked against Cap's shield. And of course, with his laser in Iron Man 2, he can produce over 200 petawatts, which is equivalent to 49 megatons of TNT. And since this version of Peter surviving blasts from an arc reactor powered Electro, I doubt he'd get one shot by, let's say, Tony's laser from Iron Man 2, for example. I just don't see that happening realistically. Unless, of course, if you're one of those people of, oh, well, Peter actually got hurt by a bullet. As for speed, I mean, Peter's just dodging Electro's lightning time and time again. He weaves gunfire like it's nothing, and of course is reacting and combating characters who should be able to do the same things. I wouldn't say he's scaling to, let's say, Captain Marvel when she's at max speed, but he's definitely at the very worst lightning timing, and if you do think he's just way faster than Electro's lightning, then it's possible to say that he's relativistic. This Peter as well, despite losing his tech, now has organic webbing, which is significantly stronger than his previous ones. We also do see his senses showing significant improvement as well, now becoming a Spider-Man that isn't defined by his peers.
Oh my god, dude, craziest lock-in of all time. When this happened in the movie theater, you knew shit was about to go down.
He's no longer Iron Boy Jr., he's not getting Toby diffed either. Tom Spider-Man has truly earned the title of Earth's mightiest hero. And similarly to how Spidey is kind of all over the place in terms of scaling, you can say just as much for his opponent, Yuji Itadori, who we will now be talking about next.
Ooh, low-key, after him telling all of the Spider-Man feats, I might have to update my answer. I'm sorry. I'm literally breaking the one rule of my videos, no cheating. But I feel like Yuji is gonna have this in the bag. Yuji has gotta be above city level. I let that man land like 2 black flashes, and I think it might be cooked for Spider-Man.
Now, I don't think anyone denies that this version of Yuji is strong and is—
oh my god, the modulo version of Yuji? Yeah. I'm actually pretty glad he is kind of talking about this, because so many people in the comments probably like, dude, where's Modulo Yuji, dude? Modulo Yuji is stronger than Goat. Shut up. We're talking about regular JJK
in
Yuji.
fact that guy and could probably one-shot Tom no matter what suit he's in. However, pre-Modulo Yuji, or specifically the one in Shinjuku, really doesn't get the credit he deserves, and this is the version we will be using. Now, before we talk about his stats, I have to preface that I'm using both the anime and manga here, as it does make the matchup more entertaining to talk about. The same way you can cap JJK at Mach 3 or just barely city level at best is the same way you can say Spider-Man is barely wall level in the movie due to his PSI number being on screen, or him actually getting hit by gunfire. In a vacuum, when you take these things out of context, from a surface level perspective, yes, these arguments can be made, but
Bro, when did that happen? That is so beautiful. I forget that's how the animation looked for his Black Flash against Mahito. God damn, I might have to rewatch that scene.
this is without looking at anything with context. With that being said, you want to say Sukuna was nerfed by however many times or whatever attack it was, him even standing up to this version of Sukuna and gaining a significant increase over time is very impressive here.
I would love to see that. Like, how strong is this version of Sukuna compared to the one that fought Gojo? Is it like 3/10 of strength of that original Sukuna? Like, how strong? Like, because I know it was obviously a great diff. I mean, he doesn't even have Maharaga in here. I'd love to know how strong that guy is.
Before this point, he was already keeping up with the heavy hitters, and through Black Flash, he entered an entirely different level than before. He should be stronger than the same Naoya and Urame, who in the anime and manga respectively, have attacks ranging from small town to town level. Naoya, specifically trying to beat Maki, is able to cause massive damage to the surrounding area, and Urame with her Frost Calm Breath can generate almost up to 3 kilotons of TNT.
Jeez, if only we can see her use that in an actual fight. Oh my god, wait, didn't she fight Hikari in the final arc of the entire show and manga? Oh wait, we never got to see that fight.
Ryu using his Granite Blast, relatively speaking, should be in this tier as well, and we know physically weaker characters can put their hands up and withstand this level of energy, such as Yuta. Now for speed, honestly, you can really take your pick here. You either think because of the manga Yuji in general gets downscaled and at most would be like a handful of times faster than sound, if even, or you think because of the anime and him combating Sukuna, he should be capable of fighting at those lightning timing speeds, if not even faster. This is because of Toji, who Maki is equal to, being able to react to Nue's lightning, Maki herself being able to do the same thing, and Kashimo seemingly shooting a lightspeed blast.
Okay. I know that is said that Maki is stronger than Toji. I do not agree. Ooh, at least up until the end of the series, I can see her being in the same strength at the end of the series, but I feel like Toji just got that aura. Toji just got that aura, dude.
The anime isn't really scared to show crazy speed feats, like for example with Mahito dodging a blitz attempt from Nanami at super close ranges, or Kenjaku weaving a point blank piercing blood from Choso, or even Naoya himself when he's trying to fight Maki, who in the manga is capped at subsonic, whereas in the anime he isn't. So it's safe to say the anime in general has better speed scaling to the manga, and we cannot compare the two. That being said, I personally have always thought Yuji was closer to those hypersonic ranges than a lightning timer, since you can't really tell me Nue is shooting literal lightning, unlike characters like Electro and Kashimo, but it's not like the argument isn't on the table, so I just figured it's worth to mention. And even if for some reason Kashimo shot light speed attacks, Sukuna, for all we know, could have just simply aim dodged him. We can't actually prove he dodged this attack. We know Yuji cannot be that much higher into hypersonic due to attacks like Piercing Blood still being effective. With that being said, Yuji going into this battle has a pretty fine kit of abilities and has so many options for approaching this battle with Spider-Man. If it's close range, we already know Itadori got that. He has superior physicality to Maki Zenin and knows martial arts, and sorcerers in general try to use cursed energy to anticipate the opponent's moves. And of course, he could strike you with either delayed hits with Divergent Fist or even directly attack your soul itself. If it's at a distance, he has both Cleave and Dismantle to throw Peter off with his surroundings, or even Blood Manipulation to try and snipe him from long range with Piercing Blood. And of course, he has none other than his domain expansion when he's backed into a corner, which allows him to basically cut the target without touching them and directly attack the soul itself. He can also heal himself with reverse curse technique and has access to simple domain, but I guess that won't really be that useful here. Now that
Dude, we did not have to use that image right there. Hold on, children, close your eyes.
both combatants have been established, it's time for a death battle. No, but I'm serious. I think it's pretty clear going into this matchup, Spider-Man, especially the version of him after his mutation, or even in his Iron Spider suit, has an advantage in really any stat department. In terms of speed, he's just reacting to lightning himself, whereas Yuji at best could be maybe semi-reacting to it, since even characters like Hikari, who he's relative to, struggle to dodge at these speeds. And in terms of strength, Tom Tom should be scaling to the amount of energy that the Iron Man in the Mark IV could tank, which is honestly pretty comparable to the Arame calc that Yuji would scale to. My thing is, however, is that Iron Man can produce stronger attacks and obviously get significantly stronger by the time of Infinity War, and Tom would pretty much scale to those levels with his Iron Spider suit. And at the very worst, the version of him in Brand New Day is significantly stronger than Iron Man's Mark IV armor. Whereas Yuji is roughly capped at this tier and can't really power cliff Arame here, since him versus Arame or even Ryu at this point isn't really a stomp. And in terms of durability itself, the Iron Spider is just better than anything Yuji has ever survived, meaning in order to win, he has to purely rely on his abilities. Now, if both characters are bloodlusted and are fighting to the death, I can't lie, there is no shot Peter is letting a domain expansion happening, as he'd legit see the hand motion in slow-mo. So
I don't know about that, because if he doesn't know what's gonna happen, does he know that it's gonna be like a trump card, like the domain expansion is? Is he gonna like try to stop it and then be a little bit too late? I don't know if he's gonna kind of like cut that shit off right as he tries it.
he would have plenty of time to just shoot a web at him to stop him, and those webs are significantly stronger than before, and we already know from previous interactions such as with both Shocker and Hulk that his webs are much stronger than his physicals, since he gets overpowered by Shocker's gauntlet and Hulk, and with his webs he's able to somewhat restrain them. Now, if Yuji for some reason just went for the domain off rip and Spider-Man is on some BS talking about some stretching, then obviously a soul cleave would be an easy way to decapitate Spider-Man and end the fight right then and there. However, in a realistic case scenario, I just don't see this happening, as both characters tend to hold back on humans. It's more than likely for Spider-Man to restrain and immobilize Yuji than it is for him to, let's say, get hit by a domain expansion or an attack on the soul. It's just more likely for Spider-Man to win the average encounter here. I will say though, imagine the beginning of this fight, especially if they're fighting in an open city. It would just be absolutely amazing seeing Yuji blitz around the map and Spider-Man swinging across the city. Aesthetically, this fight would just absolutely go crazy. Both of them carry both great power and great responsibility.
Dude, another RDJ gif. He's too many gifs, dude.
And carry what their mentors had within them, a burning desire to become stronger and do better. But at the end of the day, Spider-Man would just overwhelm Yuji in a direct confrontation. He's stronger, he's faster, if he's given his best tech, he has way higher durability than Yuji could ever hope to imagine. I think the best thing that Yuji might be able to pull off here that isn't a domain though, and I think would be something cool that could happen, is Peter maybe feeling the effects of his soul punches. Now granted, these wouldn't be a direct one-shot kill to Peter, it looks more so as a second HP bar that Yuji can bring down, but after those first few hits, I definitely think Peter would be tripping out at first, but after Peter recovers from those first few hits, I doubt he's ever going to let this happen again and realize he can't rely purely on his strength. But that's pretty much all I gotta say on this topic. I got Spider-Man winning this with medium difficulty. Thank you for those who—
Jeez, alright, guess I was wrong, even though I changed my answer mid-video. Alright, show this guy some love. Great video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And enjoy the rest of your day. You know, it's about to be Thursday, you know. Hey, I'm talking to you right now. Thank you.